Hello, everybody. It's been a while. By the time of this broadcast, it is Monday, November 20th, 2023. Um, it's Thanksgiving week. I don't know if I'm going to be working it or not, or if I'm even going to have time to do another broadcast. So I want to do this Monday morning broadcast and post something out there. Um, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, just in case I don't get to broadcast anything later. Um, but I more than likely will, so I'll just say it this much, and then here we go. A concern came to me concerning the mayor of New York, who's going to be doing some budget cuts, like hiring less cops and taking money out of the school board education and all this good stuff. And I think that's just really stupid. The reason for it is because money still needs to go to facilitate the migrants and the migrant problem that they have. They have over 100,000 and all this good stuff. Um, Personally, I think that is a very bad idea to be moving money around and stuff like that when it's not needed. The Texas governor sued the government and got up to $6 billion within a 2-year time span. New York City, Houston, Chicago, all of these places that are sanctuary cities are asking for $5 billion, which is very fair. Okay. So honestly, I think the mayor needs to calm down and stop hitting the panic button. I don't think he needs to sue the government. I don't think he needs to sue Biden the way Texas Governor Greg Abbott, my governor, is doing. I think that's highly unnecessary. And I think the budget cuts is highly unnecessary. There's many ways to actually handle this stuff. One of the things that I mentioned earlier was borrow against yourself, sort of, so to say, financial plan like that. And, it wouldn't be surprising if politicians, cities, and forms of government, whether it be just the city form of governing and financing, or state form, or federal level, they do it all the time. To think that New York can't pay itself back with the progress of achieving new citizens, tax-paying citizens, through a form of immigration, that just doesn't make any sense to me. I honestly believe that that New York needs to smarten up, as well as all the other sanctuary cities. Now, all of the other sanctuary cities are not going that route, so far that I can tell, so far that anybody can tell. Right now, it's just New York, and it's New York through Fox News, which I'm not really sure is actual evident, because of the simple fact that Fox News still does rhetoric television. It's quite possible they conjured up the story to make the migrant situation look more of a crisis than anything else. But even if it's true, let's say that the mayor of New York City is doing budget cuts and all this stuff. There's other ways. There's better ways to do this. You shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff. And I think it's concerning to run things like in a manner. And let's say that if it is true, it's a clear sign for everybody that lives in New York City, that they shouldn't be voting for this mayor anymore. They should vote for the mayor that'll roll up the sleeves and actually go knee deep into the mud with the rest of us, with the rest of the city. San Antonio, my city, being one of them. We've got facilities and holding areas and stuff like that. We've got them quarantined should they come across the border sick, and we've got them, sharing with other areas of Texas that have cooperated and are doing holding facilities. And everything. It's a slow process, but it's a smooth one nevertheless. If I was to lower the window, you could hear the highway right next to me. It is a busy highway, and it's been like that for 2 hours now. We're not even at 7 o'clock in the morning yet. So, nothing is missing without a hitch. Is what I'm saying. Everything's going without a hitch. We're all going just fine. And I think I said that. Everything's moving without a hitch. That's what I meant to say. Sorry about that. But yeah, everything's being handled. And if New York would smarten up and do like loans against themselves, 2 years down the line, because the vetting process takes 2 years, 2 years down the line, everything's going to be fine. 2 years down the line, you'll get actual citizens with destinations on where to go. And for the record, I'm looking this way because of the person that's supposed to be opening the gate. It might be happening, might not be, whatever. So for right now, I'm just, keeping an eye open and cut it off. And I probably should cut it off with that right there. If these sanctuary cities would just, be smart about it, they can actually handle their crisis, a whole lot more productively and smoothly. San Antonio, it's almost as if we've written a playbook about it, like we've got it down play by play. But technically it was a lot of trial and error. But we kept the course. We kept the pace, and we stayed the course. And now it's manageable, And this is what I'm talking about with sanctuary cities. Back when I wrote the article on WordPress.com, these sanctuary cities have nobody but themselves to blame because they're not working with each other. They're not working amongst themselves. They're not working with the government. Instead, they're just crying for more handouts. And that's a problem, because that's the exact opposite, the mirror image of what my Texas governor is doing. Here in San Antonio, the city, everything's handled. Other parts of the state of Texas, however, it's chaotic, and it's because our governor isn't really working with anybody to handle the migrant crisis. He's just suing for more money, as opposed to pleading for more handouts, which is what the sanctuary cities like in New York is doing. Okay? One is crying, the other is bitching and complaining. And that's all that's going on. So for sanctuary cities that don't have anything put together and all this good stuff, technically they've got their own selves to blame. San Antonio hired people on the spot to maintain, to translate, to facilitate, to bring in the food and bring it out, to form soup kitchens. San Antonio immediately went into action. And so do we have migrants? Yeah, we got them in custody and all this good stuff. They're not causing trouble. Why? Because we've got a system for them to stay and wait out the time that it takes to be vetted in. And this is what I'm talking about. This thing with Mayor, if this is really true, but again, no other media source is saying this other than Fox News, which we all know you can't really trust because of the simple fact that if it feeds into a rhetoric, much like the old tabloids days when I was a child, if you believe it, we'll write it, if you believe it, we'll print it. That's what Fox News is doing right now. In fact, that's also sometimes CNN and MSNBC and all them. So you got to take a step back and you got to look at what's going on. If it's true that he's doing budget cuts and taking stuff out of other accounts and stuff, that's bad. That's just as bad as what my Texas governor is doing. He's taking money out of different accounts, and then he's going, help us, Biden, which is just sort of on the other side of the fence, the other side of the mirror, the other side of the looking glass. My Texas governor, who's taking money out of other portions of accounts and then saying, Biden, do your job. Biden, you need to pay. Biden, you need to do your job. You see where I'm going with that? So that's the long and the short of it. Technically, these guys, they need to work what they're doing. They need to know they need to go through the ups and downs and the shuffling around. When migrants first came here, they were placed in the Coliseum. Now they're placed in an old building that the utilities, the electric company, they moved out of an area to live into a bigger building that place became vacant, and that's where we moved that's where my city moved the migrants in. You know, it's a big giant facility, the longest warehouse industry area, and it's a big building, so it's got a lot of sections and stuff, plenty of room for a lot of people, you know. And it's time for me to go. That's all. Y'all take care. Y'all take it easy. This is Chris with Chris's Comments signing out.